Hello again. Welcome back to the Flyin Style podcast. I'm your host, Matthew Mitchell, back with my co-host, Steven Masley.
What's up, guys? How we doing?
And as you can tell by Masley's tone, we're coming back with a loss this week. 40 to 34 against the Cowboys on Christmas Eve. Not what we were hoping for a Christmas present this year, but it wasn't the end of the world. But either way, I want to hear your thoughts first. So go ahead. What do you think?
So I thought it was a very winnable game. I thought we dominated defensively. We played very well. We had 6 sacks. They had no sacks. And only thing it came down to is the turnover rate. We had 4 turnovers. We only got 1 pick from Dak, and I don't think it was one from they scored on Minshew, but it was Boston Scott and Miles Sanders with 2 fumbles, and then the interceptions were on Minshew, but they weren't horrific. I thought Minshew played decent and just well enough that he didn't need to do anything better, but it was unfortunate. It's unfortunate, obviously, to lose to the Cowboys anytime, but especially in a week where we could seal up the 1 seed, seal up the division. It was disappointing, but I'm not gonna say that we couldn't beat them if we were to play again, or even in the next 10 times. I think we win 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 times, but I think we had a better team in this game, and unfortunately turnovers happen, and we didn't prevail. So it was sad, but hey, I can't be too pressed about it because obviously Hurts wasn't playing. So I don't know.
Sorry, technical difficulties here. I have a kitten in my camera.
Show the kitty.
Sorry about that. But yeah, no, I completely agree. We really didn't lose the game. Like we beat ourselves in this one. And I think that it was pretty clear to most fans watching that if Hurts was in that game, it's not as close. It's probably, a difference of 14, 21 points to the Eagles side. And I think this was a big win for Eagles fans to watch, because I think there was a lot of things that can go into it that we can say. So first of all, we saw the team play without Hurts. We saw some struggles. I know you said the defense played well, and I kind of disagree. I kind of agree. I think they were back and forth. I think the D-line played well. I think the secondary did not. The fact that Dak had 20 completions in a row was very, very ridiculous. Especially, we're recording this a little late, and we just saw the game last night against the Titans. He threw 2 or 3 picks last night.
I think he did 2.
2. One of them wasn't his fault, but either way, like, we know Dak throws picks, and we let him complete 20 passes in a row, and that can't happen. Obviously, they were picking on Josiah Scott the whole game. As soon as Maddox went out, they were clearly ready for that. Gannon's really got to do something to cover up the weakness of Josiah Scott. Obviously, every time Josiah Scott comes in the game, we start to see confusion, we start to see mistakes, we start to see plays over the top. And, that can't happen with just one player coming into the game. I'm not even just putting this on Josiah Scott, but he's, clearly not ready to be in the game. Like, he has not proven at any point that he's ready to play in the game.
Yeah.
And, I think Gannon put him in bad situations to make it work. On that 3rd and 30 play, I've talked to you about this. Obviously, a lot of fans were very upset about that, and I want to clear it up for everybody. We ran a very weird disguised coverage on that play, which was really, really unnecessary. We had Josiah Scott drop from the corner position to safety into the deep third. We had Blankenship go from sideline to sideline because of the coverage, and we had Kayvon Wallace at linebacker depth, and I was really confused why we put Scott in a position to be the safety on a 3rd and 30 play, dropping from regular corner depth. Like, it just didn't make any sense. And, obviously you can't let a play like that happen. And that would have been a game changer. We probably would have won the game if that play doesn't happen, because that's a turnover on downs. That's on their side of the field. We get the ball back, maybe score again. That's a big game changing play right there. And, we didn't capitalize on all the opportunities they gave us. And that's the bottom line. We didn't pull it out. It was a close, tough fought game. And I like the way that Gardner Minshew looked doing it. I don't feel like we have to be scared of Minshew. He doesn't have a very strong arm. I felt like that was evident. He does not, wing passes in there. He floats the ball, and that was He did that all game, even on his picks, even on his, he was throwing the ball high all game, and he was throwing it with a little bit of a float. But otherwise, I mean, the dude threw for 355 yards, and
Yeah.
He threw 2 picks, but both of them were on slant routes that were good plays by the defense. I wish that we saw a little more out of our receivers fighting for the ball, but
Dude,
you
Quez.
know, either way, if you take those away, you can't just take them away. But he didn't play a bad game. Is my bottom line. He didn't play a bad game,
I
and
put
on
both
top
of
of
those on
that,
Quez.
we put 34 points up on the Cowboys with our backup quarterback. So I think, and lastly, to my point, a loss is not the end of the world, and kind of just puts us in a spot to humble us once again right before we get into the playoffs. And to me, that's really not the end of the world. It just shows, it gives us a chance to look over our weaknesses, what we did wrong, and how we can adjust and fix it. And I think that this was a good game for it because, like we talked about, they played a good game, but they played, they made mistakes, and this gives them a chance to look them over and make sure it doesn't happen again. And I'm happy. I'm happy with how the way everything turned out. I obviously wish we got a win, but I'm pretty confident that we can, take the 1 seed over and hold it after this game.
Well, the 2 things I was mad about, you mentioned the 3rd and 30, but there was multiple 3rd and longs, 3rd and 7s, 3rd and 8s.
I meant to mention that too. I did.
And we couldn't get off the field. Like, we were putting them in these positions, and then they would put in Dak's hands. And obviously, Maddox being out for extended period of time doesn't help. But it was just very frustrating seeing them. Oh, like, we got them here, and then they just keep their drive going, and it would happen multiple times, sometimes in the same drive, and it was frustrating to see that. Even with Sweat playing, Sweat had a great game. Reddick had a great game. Like you said, honestly, like I don't know who to blame other than Josiah Scott on what am I saying, on the D-backs, but I didn't see really anything horrible from Blankenship. I didn't really see him I didn't see him make any like crazy good plays, but
this is where I think that this wasn't the player's fault. It was Gannon's fault. Like I said that I said Prescott got 20 completions in a row, and that was actually a mistake. Now that now that you mentioned that, it was not 20 completions in a row. It was 20 completions for 20. He was 20 for 20 on zone coverage, and that was the problem. And not just the zone coverage, but once we put Josiah Scott in there was confusion on his part, and then communication became a problem with the rest of the secondary, and that's when you started seeing problems. But he was absolutely picking apart the zone, and Gannon's got to, make an adjustment to that. And I don't, I maybe I didn't look close enough, but to me, it didn't feel like he did.
No, it definitely didn't. No, and there's no reason we can't line up with Bradbury and Slay on either side and be able to play man and put someone over the top. Like, he could be a shade over the top, just let no one get by you.
Every single play of defense on our side of the ball, when we were on offense, they were on defense. They had Trayvon Diggs on AJ Brown every single play. Every play. Why was that so hard for us to do? Just put Slay on CeeDee Lamb. The dude torched us for almost 200 yards, and we can't put our best guy on him. We're just going to leave Josiah Scott on their best player.
It was ridiculous.
Didn't make any sense. Like, I just didn't understand.
The formation. It was stupid. It was based on the formation. We're not going to switch. We can't switch. It's like we had the inability to switch. I don't know about you watching. I was like, are we not allowed to do that? Like it felt weird.
It didn't make sense. And with some teams, like, that might be okay, but when you're playing, a divisional rival that's fighting for the win in the division, and their best player is torching our worst player on defense, like, I don't even know how to describe this one, because that's like, I can't even say it's rocket science, like, I don't know what they were thinking. It just doesn't make even a lick of sense.
It didn't make any sense. I don't know. I honestly don't know what we're doing there. And then I don't know what Quez is doing on the offense. Not trying, like, I felt like he would just got bodied by, I forget who got the 2 interceptions, but it just didn't look like he fought for the ball too hard on both those picks. I knew it was slants and stuff, but they were good plays.
Yeah, they were good. They were both good plays by the defense, so I'm not terribly mad at Quez for it. But I am going to mention the fact that I felt a rather lack of desire from Watkins all year. All year, it's felt like he kind of shows up when he feels like it and is absolutely irrelevant otherwise.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of plays where I see him jogging, not going full speed on the route. And, I don't necessarily have a problem with him because of how how good our team is otherwise, but I really would like to see more out of him. I expected more from him. In the beginning of the season, they're calling him the third Batman. Like that ain't a thing. He ain't no Batman. He hasn't done anything this year.
Yeah.
And I feel like he has the potential, which is why it's irritating. So I want to see him I just want to see him give more effort. I feel like he just doesn't give his full effort, like almost ever.
I don't know if it's because he knows he's the third guy, like, and he just thinks little of it. But I even that, like, you're going. Schmitty had a great game, obviously, and
Absolutely.
but I just don't. I just didn't understand. I just don't understand his lack. I don't know why he gets lack of effort. I don't know what it is. I there's no reason to. Um, I don't know.
I don't know either, but while we're talking about it, Devontae Smith is really that dude.
He played very well. He was great.
It's really so crazy having two receivers as good as AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, and the fact that we haven't had 1,000-yard receiver since Jeremy Maclin in 2014,
Something 2013, 2014,
2013, 2014, and now we have 2,000-yard receivers finally. It just feels so relieving.
It's
so
awesome.
relieving.
It's amazing.
And you can see the clear difference. You can see the very, very clear difference it makes, which is why we've been asking for receivers for forever.
Yeah.
But I'm just happy and appreciative that we finally have it.
No. I mean, overall, like, I thought Minshew was, I don't want to say, I felt like he played very conservative for the most part of the game, not taking any sacks and everything. I felt like there was a couple times where, like, if Jalen was in, he could have extended the play, obviously. And obviously I'm not sure going to compare the two because obviously Jalen's better, and that's why he's a starter. But I felt like there was times that Minshew, like, saw some guy coming and didn't think twice about throwing it out of bounds, like, not even trying to take the hit and try to throw something. But I don't blame him for that, honestly, either. I don't blame him for that. I just felt like sometimes he was being too soft about it. But at the end of the day, it's better to throw it away than cause another turnover. But
yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was very clear the difference between having a running quarterback and a non-running quarterback.
Yeah.
And obviously, we were running the read option a few times this game, as we always do. And not once did Minshew take the ball. Yeah. And that makes a big difference in the game plan. At that point, it's not really a read option anymore. It's just a handoff play from the shotgun, which I really don't like either.
Catch it. It doesn't matter.
You can. I mean, it's just it's Minshew's not going to get you those extra yards, and you can see the difference that you can just it's very clear the difference in quarterback play, and I'm glad it happened the way it did because it made it very evident that yes, this team is very good. They can hang in there with the best of the teams, but the thing that puts this team over the top is our MVP, Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
And, there was those arguments that, even we talked about it on here that, he's a system quarterback, yada, yada. Obviously it's easy to look good on a team this good. And that was my point early on. But it does not take away from the fact that Jalen Hurts is looking good. He is doing the right things. He is doing everything right. And he has the resume to back everything up. And there's no taking away from that. It doesn't matter how good or bad our team is. He's shown clear improvements as a quarterback. And, he's still my MVP.
So my question to you, we'll get to MVP talk then. So if he doesn't play this week against the Saints and say he doesn't play against the Giants, say we win this week and we lock everything up. I don't think he has a chance then if he didn't play 3 games. Or
to be honest, I don't think he has a chance now. As much as I feel like he's the MVP, I am biased. You got to play a full season in the NFL to win the MVP. You can maybe miss one.
Yeah.
Can't miss 2.
Yeah.
It's just the way it's just the way it goes. You can't,
games are too important.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, I don't think he's going to run away with that trophy. I don't think he cares. To be honest,
that's not the trophy we're looking for.
Yeah, it's not the trophy we're looking for. And as long as he's still going to give his MVP effort to win that championship, I couldn't care less about the MVP trophy. I know he can't either. So yeah, I do think that the MVP is going to end up being Patrick Mahomes. But I like our chances in the bowl better. So I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah. So this week we have a chance to lock up the first seed and the division.
And get a better pick.
And to get a better pick. The Saints have been playing well recently. They're just playing like they have nothing to lose. They haven't played anyone particularly great recently. I mean, they blew that big lead to Tampa. with 3 minutes left. They were up like 16-3 or whatever it was. And then they played
Yep.
Atlanta and Cleveland, which the Saints have, played good defense, but like Andy Dalton, let me read you his stat line from the game against the Browns: 92 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 1 pick. Like they're
not
not
be a QB rating of like 10.
It's like 44 QB rating, but like it's like I'm not. You can't be scared of this team at all. Defensively, they've been playing decent, but they haven't used Kamara right all year. You know that as a fantasy owner.
Yeah, unfortunately,
it's just, he had a decent game last game, but like they haven't checked him down the ball, which they should be doing. He could be like he's a gadget guy.
He's one of the best. One of, if not the best receiving running back in the league. Maybe from Eckler in front of him. But
Eckler's CMC,
yeah, CMC. Sorry, I forgot about CMC. But yeah, obviously, I don't know why they haven't been using him. There was a part of me that wanted the Eagles to maybe try to go after him during the trade deadline, just because of the fact that we were, looking to make a big move, and they just aren't using him. Like something's up over there, and there shouldn't be any reason that they're not using him. And I'm wondering if they're not planning on keeping him. They don't like him. I don't know if it's just not a part of their game plan. But either way, it doesn't make much sense.
When he touches the ball, they seem to win, and then
when he doesn't touch the ball, they don't win. It's almost like a trend. But I
don't get it. Like, I'm fine with it if they don't do it against us, but it's just like Saints fans just. And the worst part about this game is the Saints still have a chance to win that crappy division because it's such a crappy division.
It is crazy that those teams are all still in the playoff race, and
they're all under 500.
Yeah, also, do you happen to know what the scenarios are for the 1 seed in terms of how we could win or lose that?
So the only way we lose the 1 seed is if we lose out and the Vikings win out.
Okay.
Number 2, if we lose out, Dallas wins out. Because Dallas is 12-4, we would drop to 13-3, and at 13-4, they have the divisional tiebreaker over us. So if we lose out,
wouldn't that give it to the Vikings then, right?
If the Vikings were to win out.
Vikings win out as well.
If the Vikings win out, I think Dallas, because Dallas beat them head to head too. So if Dallas wins out,
Dallas has one more loss than they do though.
That's true. But at the end of
or I could be wrong actually. I'm sorry.
No, because they didn't play this week. I'm just saying if they lose out, or they would have. Oh yeah, you're right. If the Vikings were to win out,
yeah.
Right, sorry.
If the Vikings win out and we win out, we take it. If we don't win out and the Vikings win out, they take it. Actually, not necessarily. This is actually a very confusing spot here, because if we were to lose one and win one, and the Vikings were to win out, we would be tied with them, but we beat them this year, so we would take 1 seed. So, okay, well, we get the gist of it.
Yeah,
it's between us, Minnesota, and the Cowboys. If we win a game, then we win the 1 seed.
If we win a game, we have the 1 seed locked up, no matter what. That's all that matters to us. Who cares about anything else? We just have to win 1 game. We just have to win this game, and just.
I'd prefer if it's this one, just because we have the Saints pick, but. Well, I'd prefer if it's both, but
I don't know who's going to be playing. So that could give me another question. I don't want to look past this game too much, but because I was talking to Mike about this. Your thoughts on? I guess we'll have this discussion next week, but week 18, are you playing all backups? If we lock this game up and have a bye, are you playing all the backups? Like not playing it, link at all of anybody? Because we do have a bye week, so that'd be 2 weeks of bye. Mike is saying I'm completely fine with it. Like people have been getting hurt. I think I want to see some people play just to start, just the first half. But
if I were a coach in this situation, what I would do is I would give my starters the option to play or not, and if they do want to play, they're only playing a half.
I think they all would say yes. That's the problem.
Not necessarily. Probably, but either way, I don't think a half a play, maybe even a quarter. I don't even 1 quarter would be fine by me too. But I personally would like to see them play a little bit, especially because we're going to be getting another bye, if that is the case. So, I don't really think it's a good idea to sit our starters for 2 weeks, maybe even 3 or 4, depending on when Jalen plays again.
Yeah.
it's not exactly something I would like to see going into the playoffs. So, just a little bit of play time would be nice for me.
Yeah, no, I mean, I want something, and I want to see us just beat the Saints. I want to see us beat one more like team, 4 quarters. Just end. This is like the end of season, the regular season. I just want to see us just dominate the Saints. I think we can.
We
And
absolutely can. And I actually wanted to say to your point that you were saying they were playing well earlier. They are playing well and they're winning games, but they really are not playing well. They haven't really scored more than 17 points in I don't know how long.
since
They've been a lot of low scoring games.
yeah,
Um, and their offense, as you mentioned with Andy Dalton's stats, is not particularly productive. And against this defense, I quite honestly, really, even with Minshew playing, I just can't see their offense beating our defense. I just can't.
I mean,
And
I think regardless, we're putting up at least 24, like minimum.
I would
I
say
think
21 minimum, but
21 minimum. I mean, I
but
just
either way, yeah, I'm pretty confident we can score at least 21 points. I
I
mean,
mean,
we have all year. We literally have all year.
yeah.
So I mean, um, yeah, there's really to me, there's not a whole lot to it. The biggest thing I want to see from us on the offensive side of the ball is running the ball, because once again, we have this weird trend with our running backs on this team where we let them get career days and then we don't let them touch the ball again the next game. And especially going into this game, I thought we were going to use Miles Sanders a lot more, considering we're using a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
It just makes a whole lot of sense to run the ball with your 1,000-yard rusher.
You would think there'd be more plays under center with Minshew too. I
I
just didn't.
know. I
I didn't
really,
get that either.
I was, Miles Sanders, I think, has 68 yards, 65, my apologies. And, it's not bad, but it just didn't, at no point in the game did it feel like we were giving him the ball much. I mean, he only had, oh, my apologies,
He had
actually.
21
Maybe
touches, but
he
you
did
just
have
didn't. I
21
didn't even
touches.
recognize it. You
It
don't.
didn't feel like it. It really,
Didn't feel
really
like
didn't
it.
feel like it.
It didn't feel like
And,
it at all.
um, you know, it at no point did it feel like we got the run game going. And against this team, an okay defense, very subpar offense. We're just trying to win the game with a backup quarterback. Can we please run the ball? Because
Yeah,
I know we can against this New Orleans team.
definitely.
They're a bottom half team in run defense. They're a bottom half team in defense in general. Let's please just beat this team as we're supposed to, and start looking forward to the playoffs.
I know we're missing Lane this game, which hurts. Definitely. I mean, obviously, you're missing the best probably guard in the entire game, but it's Driscoll will be fine. I think that the rest of the line is completely fine. My Lotta's parents are coming to the game watching for the first time play football live.
That's
That's kind of
interesting.
cool.
Yeah,
So
that's
just
super
run
cool.
it to my Lotta side every time. um, he'll kill Cam Jordan. I don't know. I just don't. I just maybe it's just sitting in my head. It's too easy, but like we should beat this team by more than a touchdown.
Yeah, no, we say this every week, dude. It's really not. At this point, there's no point in saying it shouldn't be this easy. It kind of should be at this point. This is a team. It's the NFL. So, and I've said this all year that I don't want to take any game too lightly, but I'm I am really confident that we could win one of these two games, and I'm really confident that it'll be this one.
It's just the Saints have nothing. I mean, they don't have we have their pick, so they're just trying to just play spoiler basically. I know they're only
Yeah,
a game back in their division, but I don't think anyone even on that team thinks they're going to take that division. I mean that division is just so bad, but like not that Tampa's playing well. They're just happening to get the job done.
they're still
Um,
fighting for it though. They're not
they're still
obviously, like you
yeah.
said, they're not out of it, so they're gonna try to win this game.
I mean, yeah, obviously, but
We're not
even
gonna
then,
see them roll over. Is my point.
yeah,
Even if we're
yeah,
beating them.
exactly. No, and they definitely have fire. They definitely obviously everyone wants to beat the number one seed in the entire NFL. So
Exactly.
that doesn't need any motivation for anybody speaking. Um, but hey, we're 13-2. I feel good. I don't know about you. I just don't see anything.
I'm not concerned by anything yet. Everything's going about exactly as we expected once Hurts went out, and if we can just stay level and solid while he's out, there's nothing to worry about. And like I said, with Minshew throwing for 355 yards, um, their defense being subpar, they haven't put up a lot of points. I just feel like everything sits in our favor to win this game, obviously, and I don't think we should be too concerned. So with that being said, my score prediction for this game is going to be 27. No, sorry, 28-3.
28-3. Wow. I'm gonna say a little garbage time. I'm gonna go similar route. I heard you say 27. Somehow I got 27-13 in my head. Um, I think that we just give up in the fourth quarter, just garbage time stuff. I think we keep them to a minimum the entire rest of the game. I think it's a low scoring game. The over under set at 41.5. So no one's expecting a shootout per se, but I think our defense could definitely keep them to a minimum if not very low, like you said. That'd be awesome. Not even let them have a touchdown. If we keep turnovers to a minimum, honestly, I don't think we can win by 10 like every single time.
Exactly. I mean, like we in every game we've even been close in or lost this year, it has been from us giving up the ball too much, and just letting them have an extra possession that they didn't need. Like it's just that simple. So like we obviously got to hold on to the ball, but we've been really shutting down top tier running backs this year. Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry, Elliott and Pollard did nothing. A lot of good running backs have done a whole lot of nothing against us this year, and I think that if we can shut down Kamara in the run game early, the Saints will do what the Saints do and avoid letting him touch the ball the rest of the game and make Andy Dalton beat you. And I'm very confident that Andy Dalton can't beat us.
Yeah.
So,
and yeah, I was just looking at injury because Lattimore is obviously their best corner and might be their best defensive player. I like Demario Davis in the middle, but I think Lattimore's listed as questionable. He hasn't played since week 5. If he doesn't play, we should be attacking our secondary.
absolutely.
Even like get the run game going, and even like you could throw it up to AJ and Devonta, and I'm not worried about them at all.
My idea of the game scheme hasn't changed very much. They should stick with the slants. Teams have been starting to bite heavy on the slants. Now start running double moves. Then go back to the slants. Use the middle of the field. Use the outside of the field. Use every play in your playbook to set up your game plan.
Yeah,
and this is something that we do not do very well.
I don't know.
We kind of just go willy nilly running like we kind of like ask Madden.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't really think we have a couple times throughout the year, but very very little have we used plays to set up the next play, and it's really not that hard. But
especially with a backup quarterback, I feel like in a guy that's more, I guess, stereotypical NFL quarterback, a pocket guy, a passing guy, that doesn't have the ability to run like Hurts, like a lot don't, not much do, as I'm trying to phrase it, but I feel like it's just so easy. Just like, let's go under center, try to beat them at the line. If we're beating at the line, just keep running it down their throats. And then when we keep running it down their throats, play action, bam, hit AJ Brown and Devonta. Just do 2 corners or even like a drag across the middle and something over the top. It's not
exactly.
And if he's open, if the safety bites down, then you throw it deep. If the safety goes with him, you throw it like it's. I just don't think it's that hard, especially if the linebackers are coming in. I think it just makes it's just too easy.
Exactly. No, I agree. So, no, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No. I didn't really. I was just sighing, honestly, because I don't see how did we lose this game.
Yeah, I agree. So, and now that we've got our score predictions in, let's jump into our weekly picks this week. So, do you want to start, Maz? Go ahead and rattle off your record right now.
Sure, why not? I'm gonna go to Jags -3 over the Texans. So the problem with this game is Jags don't necessarily have to win this game because their big game is next week against Titans. However, Dougie P has said no reason to be sitting any of his players. T-Law's starting. They're not sitting Travis. They're playing everybody. It seems like they lost to the Texans earlier this year, and I think the Texans have been playing good and been keeping games close and just beat the Titans. I just think they're done and not a washed-up team. My next pick is going to be probably the most public play in the NFL slate, and it's the Vikings over the Packers at +3. I'm catching a field goal. They're at Lambeau. The Packers have been very hot. The Packers obviously lost to the Vikings earlier this year. I just don't think they should be favored in this game. I think it should be a pick 'em or even the Vikings getting some points or taking some points. And my last pick is basically a bet against the Bucks and Matt Mitchell. I'm going with the Panthers. I just think the Bucks. I haven't seen anything from the Bucks that have made me be like they're a better team. The Panthers have been playing decently well. I just think that when the Bucks barely beat the Cardinals with Trace McSorley as their quarterback, it doesn't give me any hope that they could beat a divisional opponent like the Panthers. I'm getting the 4 points. I'll take a close game, and all their games have been very close, other than them getting blown out. So,
other than them getting blown out, of course.
No. I'm saying the Bucks. Like every win, 3-1, 4-3, 5, and then they had 10-point win against New Orleans. And that was
to me, I mean, the Bucks aren't exactly a good team. I just don't think that. I think the Panthers are worse. But with that being said, I will jump into my picks and start with that one being that I'm taking the Bucks -4 versus the Panthers this week. They're fighting for a playoff position. Tom Brady ain't gonna lose his spot in the playoffs, especially to the Panthers. For my other pick, I'm gonna go sticking to my word. I'm going Eagles -5.5 versus the Saints. I've explained that one. Obviously, I think that we're gonna put up some points on them. And then for my last one, I'm going to go Seahawks +2 versus the Jets. Both teams have kind of unwinded as the seasons roll down. But I haven't seen the Seahawks unwind as much as the Jets. The Jets are a train wreck right now. Don't even know who they have at quarterback. I don't think they know who they have at quarterback. So I just think that they're in too much chaos to, pull into a playoff spot. And the Seahawks are still fighting. So I'm going to go with the Seahawks +2 there.
You want to hear something funny? I think the 2 times that I took the Eagles, we lost. Isn't that weird? I think I took them against the Commanders, and I obviously took them last week. I don't know if I took them any other time in the season.
Well, since you're even on the verge of something here, let's maybe not bet on the Eagles the rest of the year.
I'm definitely not. I mean, I just on our show, but that's funny. That's funny. Yeah, I'm just gonna stay away from them. I'm just gonna enjoy my happiness. Just like the stupid second place team, the Phillies. I don't want that happening again.
All right. We're coming back against the Saints next week. I think we are both pretty confident in this one. We're gonna have to see. They're playing on Sunday, correct?
Yes, sir.
Sunday at 1:00.
Yeah.
All right. So there you got it. Sunday at 1:00. The Eagles will be playing the Saints. And we'll be fighting for a better pick, a better spot in the playoffs, and a divisional title. So hopefully we can come back to you as some happy campers next week.
That would be really nice if we don't have to worry about last week. But
exactly. But all right. Thank you for tuning in again. I'm your host, Matt Mitchell, back with Stephen Masley. And we will catch you next week. Go Birds.
Go Birds.